With over 1 million of you viewing my predictions for the 2024 APUSH exam, and now the College Board releasing the actual prompts, it's time for me to come clean and tell you how well I did. Stay tuned. I'm going to go through these prompts in the upcoming days, and you'll be able to ask me questions about whether I think what you wrote would get the point or not. To start, I thought that DBQ would be on periods 3 and 4 and the impact of revolution. And then I thought LEQ would be related to colonization and American Indians. LEQ 3, I was really thinking Reconstruction, role of government. And LEQ 4, I was hoping for the domestic impact of the Cold War. If you had set 1, I'm giving myself a 1.5 out of 4 on this. The DBQ was the same time period I predicted. And if you prepped for my question, you would have considered how slavery was impacted by the revolution, which absolutely would have helped you prepare for this question. So I'm giving myself a 0.5 on the DBQ. And then for the first LEQ, I was right on the money with this one. So I'm feeling really good about those of you who prepared for that question based on my predictions. Hopefully you all chose that LEQ and absolutely rocked it. So for set 1, I'm giving myself a 1.5 out of 4. For set 2, one of my LEQ predictions was on how Reconstruction would have impacted the role of government. And this was, somewhat similar to the idea presented in SAQ 4 with how economics in this period of Reconstruction impacted the role of government. So I'm giving myself a 0.5 here because it connected to an SAQ prompt, but that's pretty generous for me. But then LEQ 2 is dealing with the same concept. They worded it differently, but they called it settler expansion and the impact on North America. So if you addressed this one as if it was the impact of colonization on Native Americans, you probably could have gotten the point. So I'm giving myself a 1 point here. So overall for set 2, I'm thinking like a 1.25, 1.5 out of 4, but really this one I wasn't as on the money with. So my predictions for 2024 were not as good as 2023. However, they still had some connections, and I hope that they helped you prepare a bit more for the exam and at least think more clearly or think more critically about what was coming up and getting your mental status ready before the exam. Like I said, stay tuned this week. I am going to be explaining the prompts and how I would have answered it or what evidence I think works. And so you'll be able to check in with me and I'll be able to assure you that I'm sure you did very well on all of the essay prompts.